Zlurpcast!
I'm back. The regen spell did work, and I'm back because I heard it's a Blood Bowl show, and that's all the rage these days is Blood Bowl. Chaos Cup, 160 coaches. I thought it was closed, and it's just, fuck it. If these nerds want to give me $65, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. So Blood Bowl's all the rage. This is Zlurpcast. It's what we cover now, I guess. This episode, we're going to talk about some other things, though, like getting rid of stuff, unloading, and when to unload. Biran is above, as is Xtreme. Mm-hmm. And Mike's down here in the basement with me. And we started talking quickly about the Heroes Challenge, Old Blood Bowl tournament that I started at Games Plus. Biran, I know you're a fan of that store.
I'm a member of the feminist wargaming community that you had to run it once with.
I mean, I think
you went up and say, "This game looks cool. What are you folks playing?" And they said they just started screaming rape.
Yeah, they actually they basically
tried 4 times.
Yeah, they tried to cut my dick off, and I'm like, "Did you bring tweezers?" And they did not. So we ran a tournament there many years ago, and I thought it'd be a fun theme to do an all good guy tournament. Biran, are you familiar with this one at all, or no?
No, I'm not.
It was all good guys. So it was, elves, dwarves, humans. You get, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, probably. I allowed everything because you had to back in the day, but I gave a fuck ton of bonus points if you played the good. Okay. In a way, did I correct Xtreme's folly, if you will, from when he ran Big House Challenge and he didn't disincentivize a non-dwarf team enough? Did I correct that by saying, well, if you bring chaos, what is it? I lose 10 points? No, minus 10 million, maybe 100 million. I don't know.
And 0 skills.
Yeah, I think I made it so ridiculous where it had to be, but I don't recall either.
I thought isn't the current Big House Challenge that's coming up that is dwarf and chorf only?
And now you're allowed to do it. You weren't before.
So in the old days, Biran, in order to get NAF approval, you had to have, there are certain requirements. It was posted like publicly, so like everyone's invited, and you can't say no to certain teams. But you can make up phony star players. You can make up, this team gets 1 billion skills, this team gets none. Everyone gets 2 million or 1 million. That's all okay. Weird kickoff tables, weird weather tables, that's all okay. But if you restrict races, that was a no-go.
You know what requirement I miss? In the early NAF days,
only white people are allowed to play?
No, not that one.
He said the early.
In the early NAF days, you had to have your tournament posted in 3 different locations.
So on my dick, on my chest, and on my butthole.
So you can have a posting in the game store and then like on a forum and then somewhere else online, where now it's like tournaments are secrets. Like you search the NAF site and you hope there's enough information there for you to show up to the tournament.
Now, is that usually because people are trying to keep it hidden or people are grossly incompetent?
I think it's because no one uses forums anymore, and forums used to be a really big deal.
Yeah.
But I've seen that on the NAF site where the tournament information is so vague.
Well,
hey, we're playing Blood Bowl. No date, no location.
It's the lack of forums, but I found it's also we're in a period where telling someone to put it on Facebook gets a negative reaction from a lot of people. So they're being averse to Facebook posts about my turn, even though the point is to advertise your tournament so people can go. So you may hate Facebook, but it's probably worth a dummy account to set up.
Well, it's also nice because you look at stuff coming up and you're like, oh yeah, I got a tournament that day. It's always going to be there.
So more and more people are on Discord for Blood Bowl now. But
fuck that. Fuck this.
Here's the thing. Not only fuck that, but also before now, and when forums were around, there's like I don't know, a 6-year gap or more of, like Xtreme said, the question marks. Even with Discord, I still don't know always what's going on. I made a post one day that I wanted to just said, hey, here are the ones that are in my area I'm thinking about. And that became like, here's the list. Like, whoa.
You are the arbiter of the list.
I'm not making the fucking list. I just said, here's some tournaments nearby me that I might want to go to.
And like, JP, why don't you include my tournament?
Well, that, and like, someone posted the official list. Like, whoa. I went to the NAF site, and because I don't know what states things are in, I did right-click, open new tab on 100 tournaments. And I had, and I was like, click Massachusetts, nope. Click Florida, nope. Click Rhode Island, nope. Click Minnesota, maybe.
Depends on what part of Minnesota.
Right, but I mean, I opened up every tournament that didn't have the location's name in the tournament, which most don't. You know, they don't call it like the Indiana Open or anything. So I opened up a tab for every one of them just to find out if it's relatively close to me.
And hopefully they at least put where it's at. Sometimes on a Facebook event, they won't even say where it's at.
Well, yeah, on the NAF site, I will say it's a required field.
Yep.
But what's not, there's no filter for state though, and there's no column for state in the initial list. So you got to go into the tournament page. But I just wanted to narrow down the 100 to like the 5 that I might go to, and that's just like Xtreme said. I don't think it's incompetence, and I don't think it's secret on purpose. I think it's just we are now all collectively okay with no marketing tools for our events. We're collectively okay with a meh, and if people show up, they show up. If they don't, they don't. It's not the way it used to be. Here's the thing. It doesn't actually matter, because one could argue Blood Bowl is bigger now than ever before. The Chaos Cup numbers now are over double what about double of what my biggest ones were. So who am I to say we're doing it wrong? I don't know.
Zebsit wasn't posted anywhere.
No, the best tournaments aren't posted. Best tournaments actually don't exist. You make dice and you sell them later, and you say you missed like a fucking Firefest kind of event.
Every top 20 player was there.
Yeah, they were there. Well, I never heard of anyone there. You're on the regular NAF site. I'm on the fucking Masters, dude. Like
I'm on the Dynasty.
I'm on the Masters site. Yeah, you guys are on the amateur circuit. I'm on the fucking Masters.
Did you play the creator of the game in Blood Bowl? I didn't think so.
Exactly. You guys still go to Chaos Cup? That's like the champion of the amateurs. Anyway, but so Heroes Challenge, by the way, Biran, was a tournament not just for the good guys, but I also wanted between rounds to have a feat of strength.
Yeah.
Or no, take it back. It was a movement, strength, agility, armor, right, Mike?
Yeah.
So, and I
wasn't an airing of grievances. Was there an airing of grievances at all?
It was sort of like a Festivus kind of thing. I don't really remember all of them, but I'm pretty sure it was push-ups for strength. Was armor chugging 2 liters?
Yeah, it was chugging 2 liters.
But you didn't let anyone cheat and get like Hawaiian Punch 2 liters, right?
No.
Well, that was the problem, was that there was a whole bunch of 2 liters. None of them were diet. So you were chugging that much sugar, and there were widely different some of them were fizzier than others.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I would say the scientist in you should have said, what's the baseline? We had a control, if you will.
Yeah.
Like don't pick the 7-Up, that's gonna fuck you.
Well, it'd have to be, hey, we're gonna order 12 Coke Classic 2 liters just to have some, control there. We didn't do that. I don't remember if I got them in advance or people brought them. I don't even remember, but I don't remember. I'm thinking movement was a race of some sort.
Yeah.
Or jumping jacks.
Was it a 50-yard dash, wasn't it? Didn't we do it outside?
Been a fucking 50-yard dash.
Far. No, thank you.
No, maybe, maybe it wasn't 50. Maybe it was like 20.
You know what it should have been? Remember those 4-wheeled butt scooters in grade school that we did on the gym floor?
Oh, yeah.
That would have been more fun.
Yeah, that's probably.
In the parking lot behind James Plus with all the rocks, and
it was also a good
stops and flies off.
Well, it was also a good chance to go out to the parking lot or the street, make sure we didn't have any parking tickets on it.
Yeah.
So you had a movement, which was like a race of some sort. You had strength, which was push-ups, and armor, which was chugging 2 liters. I think agility might have been. I'm trying to think now what agility was.
One year it was the cups thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Remember
cup
what
stacking?
no, it was when what's her name?
Anna Kendrick.
Andrew Kendrick. Yeah.
Nick did that thing. He was all into
Nick
it.
did that. Yeah.
And
Top 10 for
I'm
me.
guessing he learned it to get laid, but whatever. And the cups things was the agility challenge. I vaguely remember at some point doing arm wrestling and or leg wrestling. I vaguely remember.
The leg wrestling.
In my brain is 2 men laying
just
down next
scissoring?
to each.
Is that scissoring?
It's scissoring, but like
We used to call it Indian leg wrestling, which you can't call it that anymore. But
Now it's crisscross applesauce wrestling.
it was just regular leg wrestling. So anyway, you did those things, Biran, and those were bonus points as well as tournament points.
Just an aside, Anna Kendrick is in my top 10 list and the only super petite one on it. And also, Shay meets Taco Bell.
Okay. You have a whole top 10 list?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
There's some guys on it.
Riley Reed's not on that.
What's that?
Riley Reed's not
no.
on that. Okay.
I actually prefer Shyla Jennings.
Yeah, I know, but yeah.
Last time I had a top 10.
She'd be in the top 20.
I think Anna Kournikova was on there. I was downloading pictures from FARC.
Where they download one line at a time. You're like, oh yeah. Oh, it's got a dick. I'm gay.
That's right. It's got a dick. I love that. So yeah, Heroes Challenge. Oh, you got the reason why I brought this up is the prize was a sword. It was from my own collection of weaponry, and it was a sword to be a legacy trophy, which you wielded and you brought with you. Phil, I think, won. Mike won. Mike, it's not displayed in your home though, correct?
I am not allowed to bring it in the house.
Why?
Katie doesn't like large, sharp objects, so it's in the garage.
Is it even
what
sharp,
about your
though?
dick?
Well, I said large.
Is it a
It's
decorative
It's
sword?
sharp
Or
though.
is it a proper forged sword?
It was a show sword.
Yeah.
if you
Right.
will.
So
It
if you hit
can be
against something
used
really
for-
hard, it would probably shatter.
It can be used to hurt somebody. It was stainless steel and all that stuff, but
The point is, the tip is pointy, but it's not sharp.
right.
But you can still beat someone with it.
You would bludgeon somebody, I
Yeah.
would say. I don't think, Mike, do you think, is there anyone who could swing it do you think you could decapitate somebody depending on who's swinging that or no?
Probably not.
It's hard to say.
Well, it's not sharp, so
But I mean, with that much force though, again, I'm going science. If the mountain did that, right?
you would snap the neck, but you wouldn't.
Yeah, you break their
cut
neck.
their head off.
So
You would cause what is called an internal decapitation, which does happen sometimes.
semi-related, and to get another scientist view on something, do you remember the scene in Suburban Commando where he cuts a guy's hand off with an envelope? Is that possible?
I don't remember that. I'm sorry.
That would be very
Oh,
painful.
Are you saying like a paper cut?
Yeah, it was a paper cut, but it cut his whole hand off. Like went all the way through. It was amazing. You look up the scene. It was awesome.
That was based on a true story, correct?
I mean, it had to be.
I thought it was
movie.
a straight up documentary.
Yeah.
The whole movie was film, actually. Film, I would say, not movie. So anyway, that was the prize, was a sword you get to wield around and all that. So yeah, might be fun one day to bring that back somehow, Mike. I don't know how we could, but could be a maybe a Zlurpcast prize of highest finish at Chaos Cup or something. I don't know. I just pulled that out of my ass, like the sword came from.
We could do a tournament at Grognard's because I know they allow sharp objects because they got the Orc Choppa in there.
Or you could just do Zebsit too, and that's what you win. So.
Yeah.
Does Grognard allow firearms now or no?
Yes, they do.
Okay, just checking. But
I even asked
hand-to-hand
Todd, I'm like, why don't you have the no gun sign?
So you can do choppas and sluggas.
Yes.
Yep.
And shoot us or just slug us?
I think shooters are if it doesn't, if you're able to partially conceal it, it's fine.
Okay.
Partially.
In Illinois, it's partial concealment, which is important.
I'm just gonna ask, since we're going that way, shock attack gun at Grognard.
It's hard to conceal that.
Wouldn't it be great to blast one of your adversaries with that?
What if you just had a
Like-
weird boy on a pole just shooting sparks?
Yeah. Or what if you got to turn someone you like but you don't like them there into a weird boy?
Yeah.
You know, just think about your not your friends list, but your one circle outside
Right.
of friends.
Once
right?
removed list.
And they cast, Ed Bang a spell and their head fucking blows up.
That
Yeah.
one of the coolest things about playing orcs in Battlefleet Gothic is one of the upgrades was a weird boy on a pole, just out
Nice.
in space on your ship on a pole,
In space.
just going.
love that. And here's the thing. How is he in space? How is that working?
He believes
He believed it. That's the power of the Wa. Right
the most powerful psychics in the universe are orcs.
Yeah. That's how the orc tech works. Anyway, so Biran, when someone asked in our group, what are we going to talk about? And I was like, well, why don't we talk about how we have nothing to talk about? And you said, I've got a real thing. I'm like, oh, okay, a real fucking topic. Look at this guy. What is this, 2021?
Yeah. Before we ran out of ideas.
Yeah, we have plenty of topics. And you said, Biran, unloading. What do you mean by unloading?
I mean, what makes you decide that you're a collection of a specific game? You're like, I'm done. I'm never going to play this again. I actively despise this enough to where I'm either A, willing to go through the trouble of listing it for sale and shipping it out, B, willing to throw it out because who gives a shit anymore, or C, sneak into Grognard Games and dump it in a corner and not tell anyone. What games have you done that with recently or plan to do that with, and how do you handle dumping it?
I'm going to ask, is it only games?
Any
Or-
hobby, we'll say.
So I'm going to ask Xtreme, how did your Nintendo auction go? You're unloading some old games.
My Nintendo auctions went pretty well. Some of the other stuff I was selling didn't, but all the Nintendo games did pretty well.
Did
Yeah, I think-
Mario beat Zelda?
It was really close. So it was Mario 2, Mario 3, Dr. Mario together, and then Zelda with the rare manual and some other junk. I think Mario won by a few dollars.
That's what I said Mario's going to win. You guys thought I was crazy, but because Xtreme, you said Zelda with the manual would put that over the edge.
Because some people will buy a game if it's an upgrade to their existing manual of the game they own.
Yeah.
You want a better, nicer manual. What I notice is any used whatever store, half price books or DVD store, whatever, Mario games from any era and any system are always still a premium. The demand will always be there. I'm not talking about any game with the Mario license, but you know what I mean. Like
The
big
mainline
one.
games.
The mainline games for each system. Always. They will always sell every time. Mario Kart for any system, $50 at all times. Like it's just
Because
the way it
as
is.
the Mario Kart holds up across every platform, there's still a blast to play.
There's still, and also, I mean, if you think about it, if you're buying retro side scrollers on a modern system, just give Mario. Like get Mario 3. One of the
No
greatest games
one's
of all time.
jonesing for Alex Kidd in Miracle World, is what you're saying.
They're not. They're not looking for Keith Courage and Alpha Suns.
Right. Or even the legendary Axe.
I would say, and call me crazy, are they still jonesing for Mega Man? I'd say no.
Well, the thing about
Right.
Mega Man is they constantly release collections of it, so it's not like it's hard to get a close experience. Actually,
Yeah,
I
I
should
don't-
take back Keith Courage and Legendary Axe are probably at a premium now because TurboGrafx 16 games are at a premium for collectors.
Are they at the point where they're so rare now?
Yeah, because it didn't sell nearly as well as even the Sega games, so it's like
Yeah.
one step below that. So
Yeah, but those Mario, like Mario 3, it's still to me one of the greatest games of all time. And it's no surprise to me. So you had some comics too, though, right? You were selling?
Yeah, and they did okay. I did well. But I mean, that was just the beginning of all the crap I had to sell, or I still have to sell. I'm very good at emotionally detaching from hobby stuff and say, I don't need this anymore. I'm done with it.
And people too, I assume.
You know, sometimes
I don't need
it's a little harder.
I don't need you anymore. I'm done with you.
Mhm.
But then the stuff like moves into this pile of stuff I need to sell, and then it never leaves because I don't like the hassle of the selling process. And it's hard for me just to throw it away because I know it has value. I just need someone to come in and sell all my crap for me.
You know, what's funny for me, and we'll talk about some of your other items, you know, but when you talked about the hassle, for as long as eBay has had an app and we've had smartphones, to me, it's no hassle. I always have a job where there's a post office nearby. You know, I go to the self-serve machine. I don't interact with anybody. I can go anytime I want, either 24/7, you know, and take my pictures, put a description, boom, it's up there. And it's a little bit of a pain in the ass, but the only thing I find a pain in the ass of selling is questions about the item. That's my only, like when I dropped my Imperial Assault collection, this guy bought it in, I think like $600. And he asked one question before and I answered it, whatever it was. And then he bought it. And then like, okay, cool. I'll get it in the mail tomorrow. And he proceeded then to ask 6 more questions after that. You already bought it.
You're done.
There's no questions you can ask now that are worth any answer. Because if you don't like the answer, it's too late. If you do like the answer, great. It doesn't matter because it's also too late.
It's not like if your answer's good, he's going to give you more money.
It was driving. He was asking for more pictures of the fucking paint jobs. And it's like,
you'll have it in a few days.
Have it. You're gonna have it in your hand within days.
Did he already pay for it?
Yes, he did.
Oh, then yeah, fuck it.
I mean, I'm only answering because I'm a nice guy. I could have ignored it, but I just, you know, the auction didn't have any game. It had 1 game box just to start the core set. All the other supplements that were all part of this thing were not included, and I was very clear about that. Even the picture. This is the only box you're going to get. One of the follow-up questions was, "What other boxes are included?" None, next to none, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
There's no. It's the box that's in there. Oh, do you have those? I said, no, they're gone. For store, I got it. They're gone. Like it was all clear stuff in the auction.
You should have posted a picture of you surrounded by the other boxes. Yes, I have them, and no, you can't have them.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking put my dick through all of them. Okay, all of them.
We're getting ahead of ourselves because we'll talk about yours because you are the most prolific auctioneer of all of us. So.
Oh, I'm happy to be there. You know, yeah, I don't want to get out of my extreme. Yeah. So gaming stuff. What have you tabletop games? What have you unloaded over the years that are memorable? I mean, for me, it's going to be too many to even, remark upon. But what are your most remarkable things that you've gotten rid of? And why? Okay. Also, and why?
Well, a lot of this stuff, a lot of the like bigger things I let go of, Mike has. So I really just moved them to Mike's house.
They stay within the family.
Yeah. My Kings of War army, I knew I was done with Kings of War.
I did the same thing. Mike's got my Kings of War army.
And I got one of John's too. I got 2.
What you didn't get, Mike, and I'm kind of disappointed. I didn't get you my Undead Kings of War army. I gave you.
Yeah, I was like, why didn't you?
I still because Tyler in Colorado.
Yeah, that's a much easier sell.
So I'll always take a in-person handoff.
Trumps it.
Because that was when I was in Colorado. I didn't know the next time I was coming in.
Oh yeah.
So, but that's it though. Extreme.
That one wasn't a judgment on the game at all. It just my how frequently I knew I would play, and it just wasn't worth anymore. And also, like, it was a fully painted army. It's super cool looking, but it never had the majesty I expected from a mass battle game. When I put it all on the table, I was like, "That's it."
Is that your Infernal Dwarves or whatever that you gave to Mike?
No, that was regular dwarves.
Those are straight dwarf farm.
Real dwarves.
Extreme about the did you say majestic?
Yeah, majesty.
So the other day I bought a painted orc army on eBay. eBay. It was basically in lots, and I got maybe 70% of what he had. And I put it all on the table. I finally got all of it because it was 2 separate shipments. Put it all out there, and I was telling Heather, I said, say what you will. about 40K. Whether you like the game or not like the game, I've had love hate for 25 years on it. I said there is nothing more awesome than a fully painted 40K army out there on a table, especially something like Orcs where there's
Orcs,
a shit ton of
yes.
models. It's just to me, there's no other game. Even if you have like the best ever painted Infinity Warband, you know what I mean? Like F7 model, like something about 200 models on a table with vehicles, uniform colors, even though they're all Orcs, they all look, they still, something about a 40K army that just looks
I would say that
awesome.
varies though, because I could name some Imperial Knights, Custodes that isn't that impressive of a floor army on the table.
Okay, I'm talking about cool armies.
Right. Like Imp Guard and Orcs.
Okay. So me being old school with 40K, in the old days, like when Xtreme said the old NAF days, this is when we had all races were allowed still. There were no Imperial Knights. There were no Custodes. Those didn't exist. I'm talking about real fucking armies.
Little
Like
squatty ass Space
A
Marines.
bunch of troops, a bunch of elites, some badass commanders, and some fucking tanks. And even flyers, I'm fine with. You put it all out there, it looks awesome.
Yeah,
Not
I agree.
sprayed gold, here you go, or here's 4 giant things.
Here's Necrons just sprayed silver.
Yeah. My Eldar army, I bought that. It just looks amazing.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever get rid of it because it's beautiful, dare I say. It's so awesome. So
I'd say of 40K, Eldar and Orcs would be the most striking looking on it.
They're always my 2 favorite. But even I bought a Game of Thrones Night's Watch army. I'm looking at it right now. Even though it's Night's Watch and it's a lot of blacks and grays and whites, it looks cool. Like mass battle games, fully painted, look cool. My Legion stuff looks cool. So back to Xtreme, Kings of War, Dwarf Army. Can I ask, do you think it's possible it didn't look as cool as you thought? This is going to be an unpopular opinion amongst Kings of War players. Dare I say the concept of multi-basing hurts the overall majestic look of it?
No, it wasn't that at all. I mean, I was very happy with the way the models turned out in Army, and I thought it looked cool. I just thought there would be like more on the table. So I think that's why I was kind of looking at the 10 millimeter or whatever, the small scale Kings of War, because you could play bigger mass battles and just have like the models everywhere. I thought that'd be cool.
I will say, as a War Master player, I loved the look of it because you're showing a 4x8 table, but you've got just hundreds of little. They're on strips, but there's still hundreds and hundreds of.
It looks like a gigantic battle.
It looks like yeah.
And that's kind of what I had pictured in my mind for Kings of War. And then when I got the painted army, I was happy with the army, and it was a fun game, but it never visually had that huge battle that I was expecting.
Let me ask you though, you don't typically go nuts with armies. Like you usually have like a cap, right? Kind of a finite. Like you don't usually let big army games get in the arms race, right?
I did with War Machine, but outside of that, probably not. No,
But
not
Kings
really.
of War, you said I thought there'd be more. Wouldn't?
Yeah,
I would argue to you, look in the mirror, my friend. You were the cause of that.
No, it wasn't that, because I had like 2 lists worth of like 2 tournament lists that I could put out there. But even like you put it all together, like the amount that you play with in an average game, I guess is what I would say. You put it on the all-in table, and it's just not that.
I'm going to stick to that until I can't prove my opinion wrong, but you can. It's the internet. I think the multi-base thing affects the overall giant majestic look of an army. I think the idea of multi-basing is cool, but seeing 8 slabs out there, I don't know if I feel the same way as a huge army.
Versus 8 movement trays.
I mean,
I think he's thinking more the individual models like a 40K.
I'm thinking about these orcs
unit.
over here that look fucking cool, and it's just blobs of 30 dudes at a time.
Yeah, because it's not rank and flank.
With that said, though, Biran, I like the way my Night's Watch army looks. I think it looks cool. It's not huge, though. There is that. It's a, I don't know what, I don't forgot the points. Maybe it's 70 points I have, maybe. I don't know. Maybe 80 at the maybe even less. So you're saying Xtreme based on what you played in Kings of War was a little smaller.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with the game. I was just ready to let go of it because I wasn't going to play anymore. I mean, I could have kept playing with it. The only negative I had was that it wasn't visually what I had hoped for in a mass battle game, because I don't play a lot of mass battle games. So I had this false image set in my mind that this is what it's going to look like, and it didn't look like that.
Now, when you say
So that-
Mike has it, did you sell it to Mike, or do you, like me, say you can have this for future considerations?
No,
Like
I
basically
saw it.
trade.
yeah, he gave me money. I mean, it was.
Yeah, I don't think anything. I think Mike may have been given some like add-ons over time, but I think every deal Mike has done, he has paid something for.
Well, like a fully painted dwarf army has more intrinsic value than the here, take this, Mike, I don't want it value.
Yeah,
He has the Joe Neat dwarfs for me.
Dwarfs.
Yeah.
Yes. But I don't have the giant.
No, I still have him because he's cool.
Yeah, that giant's cool.
Kira, did you give Mike your orc army?
I did. I know I gave you a bunch of goblins.
Because I was jealous when I was all Kings of War. I
Yeah.
wanted to buy. It was from Joe's sidekick, right?
Yeah, the one who.
Yeah, it
and
was
they were
the-
very, very well painted.
I wanted
They
to
were,
buy that,
yes.
and then when I heard you got it for like 150, I was
Because
fucking
that was my standard price at the time.
I know
It
it's
was.
stupid. That's a stupid thing because I would have paid 250.
Oh.
Just
So-
saying.
Mike also has all my 40k orcs. Well, not all, but almost all of my 40k orcs. That was a lot of shit that he took away there.
I have your vampire Blood Bowl army.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Blood Bowl teams, like the amount of Blood Bowl teams I painted and sold, I'm very good at just letting go all memory of the teams that once they leave my house. Like when I was doing commission painting, I would like pump out teams so fast and then completely forget what they looked like. It's to the point where I played against a team I painted in a tournament. I
And had no
complimented
idea.
them on the paint job. I was like, hey, your models look pretty good. It's like, they showed you painted them. I was like, oh shit, I did. Sorry. Like, I'm not
You're
trying.
all right. I got
Yeah,
it
I
by
did that
buying
at,
from you.
Underworld, Sean was like, yeah, you like these lizard men? I go, yeah, they're pretty cool. He goes, well, you painted them. And no memory. I still have no memory.
Wow.
And the only thing that I well, he's not going to lie about it, but it was like, yeah, that's my basing.
Were they actual lizards or were they proxies?
No, they're actual the GW lizard men.
Okay, I was hoping they'd be like Oompa Loompas or something.
Yeah.
One of the other big sales I did for I don't know how long it was. I really wanted to play an Old West miniature game. The problem I kept running into is no one else wants to play an Old West miniature game.
Not even a demo version. Apparently.
Yeah. So I had I don't know, I had all these plans that I would just do it by myself then. Fuck it. I'm gonna play by myself. But I had so much terrain that I could fit like a very packed 6x4 where it would be super cluttered. And I sold all those MDF buildings and all the stuff to some local guy that I ended up meeting. And of course, he asked me when I dropped it off, he's like, why are you selling all this? It's like, why does it matter? Like, give me the money. Here's your giant box.
I
of
need it for
stuff.
heroin.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, it's kind of like, it's not like you're selling a car. Like, what's wrong with, like, he's trying to grill you. Like, what's the catch? I don't
These
want
are
to
some of your banditos.
Oh yeah, I still have more of that stuff to sell too.
That actually reminds me, Mike, I have another batch of Black Scorpions to send your way.
I just realized I have 4 painted Blood Bowl teams. That's a lot for someone who doesn't really like the game that much.
I mean,
Yeah, I have a lot more to sell if you want more.
I do.
They're all in my sell pile. I have this awesome team that I'm probably going to have to give away because no one else in the world will want it but me. It's a all zombie team. So it's all zombies, and then there's 2 big zombies if you want to use it like flesh golems or mummies or something.
you're
yeah.
saying because the roster sucks, so nobody.
Yeah, like who would want an all zombie team?
Why didn't we
Is there
use
a-
those zombies for Zombie Mall Madness?
That is a great question. I don't think it would have been enough, maybe.
Oh,
Is there a star player that plays for Undead that's so good that it might make sense to have all zombies and that one guy?
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Because there might be a reason. If you said, I got this human team, it's all linemen, nobody wants it. Like, people do want it.
Well,
throw
There's
one
that
guy in
Wolf.
the-
There's that Wolfman star player that's supposed to be really good, right?
Yeah. well, and also this team, like, I don't know, I'm not trying to oversell this team at all, but it's all converted zombies. So there is one that looks like a thrower, one that looks like a catcher. So you could say it's like an alternate human team or something if you really wanted to stretch it, but it's intended to be an all zombie team.
Yeah, but still, you could take that all zombie team and then paint up a couple mummies and whites and stuff, and you're fine.
I actually think using it as a human team might make sense.
Yeah.
But so one thing I do really, really hate when I've sold painted stuff in the past is when people ask you if you can paint a couple more models for it.
Oh, yeah.
I
I've
remember
already
when
let
I bought your Harlequins for Kill Team, and I said, "How
Yeah.
much do you paint the rest of them?" And you're like, $1 billion. Okay, I'll take the ones that are done then.
No,
When I bought this scares from Xtreme, I was like, I'm all in, whatever you want, but I need those last two painted. And you did them, Xtreme, against your will. You did them. Here's the thing, I got a new one though.
Here's some contrast paints. Get it done.
You know what though? Lucky for you, all 30 roster spots are already filled up, so we're good.
Right. No, but I mean, so I had this is just an example that didn't work out for me at all. I had a undead necro Kimry team that you could play it as all. It had enough to do all of them. They all had matching uniforms. It was all of this massive, basically an army, but it was, you could use any of the 3 Blood Bowl teams. And I sold it and they're like, can you paint these other 2 models for it? And I was like, sure. And then I painted them, and then I realized that we never discussed a price on painting these other 2 models. And the person's like, oh, I thought it was going to be included. I was like,
Yeah.
I
Yes,
guess
it's
it is
included
now.
at this price.
It's like, I guess it is now because I didn't discuss price with you either. So it's kind of my fault. But he was already getting a deal because it was a really cheap sell for basically 3 teams. I was like, this.
Are you the person who said you don't like when teams are multiple use though?
I don't. It wasn't for me. I painted this for my wife because she said if she had,
Zlurpcast champion, you mean?
she said if she had this scenario, then she would play Blood Bowl more often. And guess what didn't happen?
Okay.
I do love this vampire team though.
It is a really cool team. I wish there was another game to play for it. I really like the vampires. The vampires were what were they? War Machine gargoyles without the wings.
So the thralls are these sexy ladies.
That's better.
They're the Black Widows from Impact.
The under boob exposure.
Are those the Phil Bowen models?
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually, the ones that I bought for that were actually from Phil when it was Phil's Figs.
Yeah.
I do like some of those old school teams from that line because I had my the samurai team were the Divine Wind from those, which are pretty good back in the day. So
The Valkyries are good too. I really like them.
oh yeah.
Yeah, these thralls are awesome.
What do you think about people painting the butts on those? Is that a yay or nay?
I actually think they look better if you paint the legs as like spandex.
Mhm.
So I mean
Yeah, I
that's okay, but I didn't do the bikinis. I just did as blue pants, and
Yes.
it looks great.
That makes more sense.
So if you want the fluff behind that vampire team that you had that I had created,
Mhm.
the vampires were fallen angels and all
Oh,
the little
very good.
sluts were the sinners.
Oh, naughty, naughty.
What do you mean by little sluts?
I mean,
These guys
they're
are
all-
aw- I
they're
wish
pretty slutty.
I wish vampires were an easier team for a tard like me to play though.
Yeah. They're very
Who's
challenging.
that Todd for help?
For tips.
Yeah.
You mean not the other league win I got in our first league was Todd, and we only played a half.
I mean, if you wanted to be, I wouldn't do it, but if you really wanted to stretch it, you could use that team as Black Orcs or Lizardmen.
But I already have an awesome Lizardman team thanks to
What's
JP.
That's a little bit of a stretch, I'll say.
Yeah. It's not quite Slenoris, but it's getting there.
Yeah, well, I mean, the 6 vampires would work well as Black Orcs. They're the right size, but it's the widows being goblins. It's kind of weird, but I was trying to find some use for the models. Okay, they're cool.
We're getting into heavy proxy category extreme, and I'll tell you what, I'm liking you less the more you talk.
I didn't say I would do any of
We're
these
getting
things.
that heavy proxy category right now.
I'm just trying to find a good use for these cool models. I'm not going to do it because I don't feel comfortable with it, but
If
So,
you look
yeah.
carefully, you could see the globs of super glue of that tail getting
Actually,
re-glued on.
it's like a tree to count the rings. If you count each ring of glue, you can tell how old it is.
Yeah, but I mean, the
bought-
models, I love these models and the paint job and the color choice.
You did a good job. I bought that from Kent Nelson at his Zlurpcast Bowl.
so next time it falls off, why don't you turn it upside down so you could also glue it to the base?
No, what I'll do is it might stick out a little bit from the base, so I'll just put some glue on it and stick it to the board.
I would say put it in the front. Make like a fucking
dong?
ball peen dick.
Okay. I was trying to offer a real solution, but
I was well, okay, Mr. Proxy.
I also have
By the
your,
way,
I have your
wanna
Blitz Bowl
see-
teams too as well. My
I
half
heard ball peen dick is going to be at the Warp Tour this year. By the way, human. Those is for me, right?
yeah, I got the humans and the orcs from you.
So I have
Extreme,
like
back to the sales. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I have like 4 fully painted dreadball teams too. I need to unload. Anybody want to offer me like $5?
Hold on. Let me check the live chat. One sec.
I would just own more Bryan Xtreme Mitchell originals, but not that.
I got a couple bids coming in. Magnolia Fan 1 says 3 cents.
Somebody wants it on a payment plan.
Gold member 69 says go fuck yourself.
Can I do PayPal Pay in 4 on it?
You can. Extreme, what other memorable unloads have you had over the years?
I mean, I try not to remember them once they're gone. I have this giant stack of stuff that Ginny has been very patient with me and selling, because I was supposed to sell it within the first year that we moved here, and it's getting close to 2 years. And obviously, I had some other obstacles slow me down.
Yeah, but you also had to sell some of her Disney Princess Nintendo DS games, to be fair.
No, well, those weren't her. That was all. Yeah,
Yours?
so,
Are they your games, Brian?
It's all technically Extreme.
no, they weren't mine.
Extreme, I saw, speaking of Disney and Extreme, I saw him at Gen Con with a Fantasia hat.
No.
Let me also, Biran, when you put this topic out there, you didn't just say what the unloads, you also asked why. Extreme, is it typically for, I'm not into the game, there's no players, or is it also money sometimes?
It's very rarely a money issue. It's usually because I know that this stuff's just taking up space and it's never going to get used. I was very good I've gotten much better at it, but for a long time I was like buying into games, getting excited, never playing them, and then having to sell stuff. And I finally got to the point where I stopped doing that, and I can recognize in advance, except for one game that I still hope to play, but I don't think I'm going to play. Don't Look Back. After we did our episode on it, I went crazy, bought a huge box of that stuff, and I haven't opened up the box.
Do you think that when you jump, fully into a game, do you consider resale value? Kind of like when people buy a house and they're already thinking about resale value when you buy.
Like, what are the schools like? What are?
Yeah, right. Do you say, I'm going to get into Don't Look Back? If for some reason my little self prenup of sorts, if it doesn't work out, can I get half my money back?
Not only do I not do that, but I tend to like weird things in games that aren't really competitive a lot of times. So I kill my resale value, but I overspend on it to get the cool stuff that I want. But I'm probably the only person in the world that wants exactly what I bought. So
16 zombies.
Right.
That's the thing about zombies, though. They're used in so many games you may play down the road where you'll get
That's
the
true.
use out of them.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be great. You're playing a game where there's zombies. All of a sudden, one comes with a football. It's like, what the fuck?
That would work in Mall Madness. He's at the sporting goods store.
Right. Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Go bring a zombie friend to sporting goods. So, anything else extreme on the dump list over the
No,
years?
I mean, I considered during Big House Challenge just inviting everyone to come upstairs and dig through my stuff and throw money on the table, and
Including your hamper?
sure, why
Your
not?
used underwear?
Yeah, I mean, why not? Whatever.
Maybe
I don't
like
know.
what about like a live auction while we're there?
Well, I am going to have a few like raffles I don't know about live auctions. I don't want to deal with that, but I'm going to have some stuff that I'm going to raffle off for charity. And there's some stuff that I think I'm going to bring to Chaos Cup and throw in the raffle there as well.
I know you're against an auction, but maybe consider a gavel because it's cool.
Yeah, maybe.
Just a thought.
I can bring the Hero Challenge sword. You can just.
Yeah,
Sure.
Mike has already confirmed no damage will occur. He confirmed it. He said it's too dull.
You know who didn't believe that? Katie, because it can't come in the house.
Yeah, Mike, question on that. If it can't possibly cause injury, how is it not allowed?
I'm not saying it's a logical fear.
You know, women.
I have to do all of the bread cutting and stuff like that. Because
Dare I say what's in your kitchen is 1,000 times more more violent than that sword.
Oh yeah.
All right, Biran, what are your unloads and why? Your memorable ones.
So for me, it's a phases thing where I go, I just need to get rid of some of this shit. Right? It's not like I've fallen out of love of a gamer like that. But yeah, the exception being Mantic stuff. I went through a long phase where if it had the Mantic label on it, I wanted it either in the trash or hidden on a shelf at Grognard Games.
But the phase before that, it was, I got to get it if it says Mantic. One, I want the points.
Right.
One.
I need to get the snips.
Yeah, you ever look at the back of like, star player buzzkill and it's like, oh shit, he's got 2 splat points. You got to get it just for the points.
Well, you got to get buzzkill anyway because he was so OP. But
That's right. Buzz cut, I believe. Actually.
Yeah.
I said buzzkill, man. He was a buzzkill in games, I will say.
yes, he was. I remember I had a fully stocked Sphere team ready to go in the playoffs. Last game was against Josh, X-Wing lover, Snow, Aldis. And he was an underdog, so he got buzz cut, and he killed 3 of my guys permanently.
You know what's great about that Dreadball League? That I think I ran that one.
We did more than one.
Yeah, well, the one that Buzzkill dominated, Buzzcut dominated. I knew he was so OP, so I did that thing like I talked about earlier, where I talked about Xtreme, not penalizing teams enough to win. I did that thing where I'm like, I'm going to make him cost 55 instead of 25. Like that'll teach him.
Nope.
No, that won't fucking teach anybody. Anytime you want something out of a game, make sure it's fucking out of the game. Don't say, I'll make it pretty damn expensive. Nope. Somebody will find a way to fire everybody on their team to have money to squeeze them in. Look at Griff right now. Doesn't matter what happens. Raise him 10, raise him 20. It doesn't fucking matter. Unless he's a billion gold pieces.
Yeah. More than you're given as a budget.
Right. Something unattainable, he will be taken.
But it was one of those where I was in the playoffs by a long shot. And I had one last game against Josh. I should have just left my guys in the dugout and said, do what you want.
Quick side note on Sphere
Yeah.
in Dreadball, because they're cool. They're Sharkman. They look really cool.
They're a little too good, I think.
Total game flaw, in my opinion. Their tail hurts you when you're in that, arc. So what do? You turn your models around. And it looks fucking dumb.
Yes, it does. And it's the right way to play.
Take that shit out of the rules. Take it out of the rules.
They made it so I don't think it mattered in the new version, Mike.
Yeah, because if you hit him from the front, if you hit him from the rear, you get bonuses, but the tail negates the bonus, so it's the same either way.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't help you being hefting your ass out. So that they'd eliminated.
But it doesn't. But it negates the hitting him from the rear penalty that every other team has.
Right. So it's so if for somehow you end up facing rear, you're not fucked.
You're on with line up. I'm like, you set? I'm set. Asses to me.
Yeah.
I have a related topic for models being turned weird ways.
Okay.
So for years with my dwarf team, because it's heavily converted and not usual, I put the name of the position on the front of all the bases. So that way my opponent had no excuse. You could look, that's a runner, that's a blitzer, that's a blocker. So, and then you turn my model when I'm done and then turn it back for their turn so they can see them again. But now we're playing side saddle so often that the only way I can do this is if all my models are facing sideways. I'm not going to do that because it looks stupid.
Yep.
So now I'm asking my opponent to crane their head around to look the other way.
Hey, if they want to play for serious, for keeps, they'll do it. They'll make the sacrifice.
You know what? I'm saying Xtreme, rebase them all.
Well,
Put their
and then
position on every cardinal direction.
you would have, well, even if you want to do it sideways, you'd have to do it on both sides because you don't ever know which half of the board you're going to play on.
Earlier, you already did a tangent on Blood Bowl, so I'll just fucking do another one, whatever.
Sure.
But you did it. Tangents are the show. We've said this 12 years ago, I believe. Earlier, I asked, would a fun tournament theme be 1 minute turns? I think that'd be a blast to do a 1 minute turn. I got another tournament theme. No side saddles. It's a fucking the vertical open, whatever you want to call it. And that would be
You could
basically.
play. I would say you could play side saddle, but your hiring budget is half.
No, here's that. You can play side saddle. We have to put the chairs on the sides then.
Yep.
Because then it's not.
The side saddle thing is because the board's too big. It doesn't fit on tables.
Like my tournament will have custom tables. This is a
Well, people are playing side saddle. It's because they have to.
I've seen it where some people do it because they prefer it, and those.
Well, yeah, because that's all they know.
Yeah.
I have tables being built right now in my made up story that the tables themselves, it looks like a coffee table. It actually only will fit.
Like you tried side saddle, look weird.
It's a fucking plus. It's hanging over the edge. Doesn't look right. I'm saying it's in the works right now. So that's all I'm saying. If you want to play side saddle, you got to pick up the whole table.
No, table and chairs are bolted down.
Table and chair, and actually people.
Yeah.
You're locked in. Talk about plopping. You're locked and plopped right there. So anyway, Biran, Dreadball. No, who still on Biran?
Sure.
Yeah. Biran,
I will not. I've dumped almost all of my Dead Zone stuff. I just have my Brockers left.
You guys did a Dead Zone resurgence in it. Why are you dumping that?
I don't want to buy any more of the models. I tried to buy that engineer with the Doc Ock thing.
Yeah.
I opened up the box and saw all the pieces, and I said, no.
You should just put Doc Ock from Marvel Crisis on.
Yeah, I have one painted by Xtreme.
Side note, you got to cut the flash off that one. You don't do it, you lost all my respect. That's all I'm saying. You lost it all.
But I will keep my Sphere team just because I do enjoy the new Dreadball.
You know, can I say that when we all agreed Dead Zone is a really good game, over time is the taint creeping in?
It is, and I miss. I actually miss the cards.
Oh, scumbag!
Yeah,
Mike, you understand what I'm saying though, right?
Well, Mike and Ryan still like Fire.
Yeah, they're great games. I don't fetishize the taint like Biran does, but you know.
Well, you fetishize.
Are we still talking about Dead Zone? What are we talking? I don't.
I've gotten rid of. I gave Mike my Obsidian Golem army.
Okay.
Including the greater Obsidian Golem that was painted by me. Didn't I give that to you? Did you get my logs, my lesser Obsidian Golems?
No.
Oh, I thought I did. I'll if I didn't, I'll look for them and give them to you.
You painted them yourself?
I gave. Oh, did I give? I think I did only give you my goblin stuff because you said you were eventually going to.
There's a bag of them, yeah. Which is sitting in with the rest of the bags of goblins I have that will probably never.
Any Mantic stuff that I had still in the package and still like on sprue or whatever they call a sprue ended up on the shelves at Grognar Games without me telling them I was putting it there.
So this was not a way to gain some type of profit.
Right. Well,
it
is a goop because I just like the idea of someone coming up to the register with it and then not be able to scan it and going, I have no idea how much this costs.
Is it like when somebody at like a store goes, I guess it's free?
Yes, that awesome joke. The only time I've sold gaming stuff for money was Magic the Gathering.
Is that because you knew you had something there?
I knew I some of it, I didn't know how much. I knew I had a couple good cards, but there are obviously some I didn't know I had because they were just crammed between two other cards in a pile of just random cards. I think I walked away after 2 sales with like $2,500 in store credit.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
What'd you buy with that?
Blood Bowl stuff. Stole a bunch of sodas. Some books, paints. It goes fast because I think I literally bought everything Todd had of Blood Bowl.
You did.
That's crazy.
I have every team now.
That was right just after you said I hate this game and everything that's a part of it. It's right after.
And the funny thing is, what got me changed my mind on it was Dungeon Bowl, but now I think I like regular Blood Bowl better than Dungeon Bowl, unless you're playing on those maps that Phil and the guys brought in and Jeffra brought in, the big squares with just walls and random spots. That I think is the best way to play Dungeon Bowl.
Because there's no choke holes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's got the randomness, but not that, oh, fuck, the colon is clogged with impacted shit.
Needs to be cleared out.
Yep.
So Biran, for you, it's more of a, I mean, rarely do you sell stuff, except for Mantic, it's because you're just done with them. Is that what it is?
Well, okay. I the games I'd still play of all the Mantic games, I think I'd still play a game of Dreadball.
Okay.
Not that John?
I'm kind of done. I don't know. Maybe it's because I think to be good, I'd have to tweak my dwarf army, and I'm not willing to do that.
Do you still have your like fantasy and 40K stuff?
Yes. So I still have that mostly painted Sylvaneth army where I bought some of the what you call it from you painted that look really good.
Some big trees.
Kurnoth Hunters.
Yeah.
I think I actually have probably too many Kurnoth Hunters to have a legal army now.
I just thought they were called big trees.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they aren't the biggest trees.
Good point.
I bought a really well painted who's the big tree man named guy.
Deep root
Durthu. Oh,
Durthu,
yeah, he's the one with the big sword.
Morgan
I bought an awesome
Morgan Tree.
Doug Risley fully painted one, and he's a good painter.
Yeah, he is. Award winning for real.
Yep. So I bought that. So you have that, and I'll never sell that because that's the thing. Anything I've painted for GW, I will hang on to.
Your rule is if you paint it, you're keeping it.
Yes. Not really. It depends because like a lot of the Mantic stuff was when I first got into painting after a layoff of 15 years.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look great. But anything modern, yeah, for sure, I'll keep.
Okay. So you have all your games work. So in general, you're not looking to really get rid of too much. You don't.
No, I'm not. I'll keep. I'm like you used to have that philosophy of I think it was with your Space Wolves where this bag I'm keeping. This one 432 or whatever you had. Did you finally get rid of those?
So funny enough, with Space Wolves, I am down to 10 models because it was a kill team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And they look kind of derpy because they're the old ones, but they were 13th company. I did some relatively cool conversions and painted, and they were still in that unfinished phase to me. That's the other, my problem with painting is I never feel anything's ever done.
So you never do the final steps of basing and shit?
That, or I just never feel like I'm done and content. I'm always like, I got to do something. I don't know what else I got to do, but I got to do something else. So I never feel that moment of it's done.
Well, and with my salamanders, a lot of it is painted by me, so I'll probably never get rid of that.
Like there were times where I had like a section of something that's like black, and I'm like, I just need to figure out how to highlight that in a good way, and it never gets done because I'm like, well, try a little gray on the edge. That looks like shit. It's too much, and then I just say, fuck it, it's black.
Yeah, edge highlighting is like but it looks derpy in this one final.
I'm like, you know what? At its core, black is fine as it is.
But no, and I've the stuff I've painted lately, I've been pretty happy with. Like my Wood Elf Blood Bowl team, I like, and the stuff I'm painting for Infinity, I'm enjoying. So,
right.
I'm actually enjoying metal models, which is weird. I didn't think that would happen again.
That's out of necessity, though.
Right. Well, now there's more that are going to be in that resin, but I think of the metal models, a lot of the chunkier Infinity ones go together pretty well.
When in that orc army I got from the guy, the knob with Wah standard bearer is a metal model. Looks really cool. He's got a power claw holding the standard.
Holding the staff, yeah.
And I get that one, the arms off, the guns off. And it's no fault of the guy. I don't blame the guy at all. It's all that stuff's off. So I'm like finding ways to re-glue it, but so one part is touching something else for the extra
for stability,
point.
yeah.
And then you start to look around the whole model and be like, there's like 15 fucking metal nicks on it. which I took, a similar color and just kind of whatever, they're orcs, it's fine. I'd rather have any color than metal there. But it's just the idea, it's just those little moments every now and then that I'm like, fuck metal. Every
Yes.
time I've got one that's like, there's
When
always
they're
something
pristine and well painted, they look fantastic and feel good and hefty, but practically no. The one thing I will say about the newer Infinity models, and not all of them are this way, I found, is like it's not just a ball in a divot. They're like geometric shapes that go in.
Yeah.
They can only go in one way.
that helps.
So what I've been doing is I've been taking the like parallelogram that's sticking out and scoring it a little bit before I glue it. And that's
There was a time where I think Games Workshop, I could be wrong, but I remember we're doing triangles, and the idea was you could put it in this way or that way.
yeah.
And then the other way was completely wrong because it's facing the back.
It's like,
but it always gave you like arm up, arm down. You would never do arm back. But
well,
because
when they
it was
say like
triangle-
I like the multi-pose, go fuck yourself.
well, what's cool about when they did this was even if you had a sprue with the same guys, by just varying up one arm this way, one arm that way, the next one's this guy, next, you already automatically had multi-pose just by varying which way.
Yeah.
So
It's just give me the monopose all day, all night. It's harder to mod though, for sure.
Yeah.
But those were like it was a tactile space marine, and it was 17 separate pieces.
yeah. And it's like, oh, we've got to have the binoculars on the belts. There's one little tiny thing there. Like,
Yep.
it's fine. All right, let me move on to Mike.
Oh, and a lot of
Have
times I
you-
dump stuff to Mike as well.
Yeah.
Mike, have you ever sold any gaming item?
Yes, once. Because I'm a hoarder and I keep everything.
That's
But
what was
And
it?
you receive stuff from all three of us.
yes. But what happened is where I was working, there's a giant prep room, and all my overflow shit that I'm gonna work on, but probably, whatever, I would bring to work and then put in these boxes, and like old paper boxes. And I was doing that for 15 years. And then my boss, when we revamped the lab, she's like, because I had a whole painting studio in my office, which really wasn't an office. It was just a
Yeah,
prep
your
room.
assistant's doing like a sweatshop work for you too, right?
No, but
They're
it
doing
was,
base coating.
it did not look professional. If you
Keep
wanted,
working on those Skaven.
yeah, if you wanted to bring a, chancellor or something like by, it wouldn't look good. So she made me get rid of it. So I had to get rid of it. And that's when I realized how much shit I actually had. So I put it, this was like Vor stuff and Sisters of Battle and just, Chronopia.
Was it
The
your
old metal
Skaven for
sisters?
fantasy or no?
I still have the Skaven, yeah.
Okay, for some reason I remember those.
This was just a lot of stuff. The epic stuff, which I regret. But so I put it in the Games Plus auction, got about $6,000 in credit.
Wow.
Yeah.
$6
Which
grand?
doesn't help the situation because you're just gonna buy more shit.
Mhm.
But
Wow, that's a lot of dough though.
yeah.
Nice. You almost are like let the store keep it and become part owner. You can buy into that store.
Yeah.
They have
But
a girl working there now.
we allow it. But that's pretty much the only time really. I
Everything
give a
else-
lot of shit away.
Yeah,
I did
Well, like-
sell a Lizardman cheerleader once.
nice.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a profit to be made.
Yes, there was a
One other
profit
thing-
there, but
One other thing, and this is one thing I admire about you, JP, is I go through it. When I went through a purge phase, I took every 40K codex that wasn't current and just threw it away. You sold it knowing someone's gonna buy this shit.
Yeah, so I'll talk about mine. I do actually want. I have a game to play with mine in a second, which we'll all partake in. But on the subject of codices or 40K books, in general, Games Workshop has resale value. If something is unpainted, great. On sprue, great.
Even better.
Fully painted nicely, great. The hardest thing is when it's like half-ass painted shittily. Then it's like whatever. But
Or just like base coated
or
or
base coated, because a lot of people don't like,
or even just primed.
even
Yeah.
like yeah, 'cause a lot of people were like, I don't want a black primed army because I have to paint over that. I did recently sell. I've done several 40K books over the years, not a lot, but like maybe every 5 years. a purge of, GW books because they're super heavy. It's a pain in the ass. But I know that there is a market for them. I don't care about an old codex. But what about the fluff? They reprinted every codex anyway.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In fact, dare I say, usually there's a few exceptions, but usually a new codex is going to cost more, and it actually has a little more stuff. So do I need the one?
They've taken a lot of the fluff out of them.
Maybe I'm.
But I love when they don't even change the cover image. You're like, which one's the
That pisses me off.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe I'm forgetting some.
They
but
did that
like,
with the War Codex with the Chaos Space Marines. Yeah, fuck that.
And maybe it's because I read it and I don't care anymore. I don't know, but I'm okay with dumping the old stuff. I know it has value. So yeah, I recently did one just a couple months ago. Media mail. So I think, and of course the guy that won it was in Hawaii. So I said U.S. shipping only. It's like, oh man.
Should have said Continental.
I should have said it, but it would, because I asked the guy there, I'm like, how much would it have been? He said 80. And shipping was like 20, I think, 18 or 20. And it was, I think I got 160 bucks, 180 bucks, I think. So I covered shipping myself. I always do free shipping just so, because I know how people are. They look for free shipping. They sort by free shipping.
Mm-hmm.
So I always eat it no matter what.
I do like when the price is lowest with shipping included.
Yeah, I do too. But I'd rather just say I'll cover it. And I always do, priority when I can, like if it's an option, which it always is. But anyway, I did media mail to make sure it was cheap. I was kind of like, I have to do that, and I was ready if they ever cracked it open, like, hold on, are these advertisements? Like, no, it's games. There's no, look through them if you want. I got called on that once years ago with the White Dwarf collection, where these are magazines. You can't do it. I'm like, they're actually not magazines. They're gaming supplements. Let's take a look. And they let me do it, but it was like after I had to like put a case forth of,
yeah, because it looks like the quote unquote dated reading material that
right. You're not supposed to use periodicals, So anyway, yeah, I did that. It was a little more of a pain because it's heavy, but it was fine. But since I've gone through a bunch of stuff, and by the way, when I do it, it's never for like I need money, like I can't pay my mortgage. Like, it's just I'm done. I'm out. I either don't want the game anymore, don't want the models anymore. I've moved on, whatever. It never bothers me to like say like, oh, I just wish. I mean, there are things. Do I regret some? Like, yeah, sort of. But I always get better stuff later anyway. Like I always get better shit. So the whole, if you paint it yourself, is it hard to get rid of? No, I have a Norse Blood Bowl team I'm looking at that, I painted 20 years ago. They're actually not horrible. I did some highlighting on, they're not horrible, but I kept them just because I'll never use them because I have a better Norse option now anyway. But for the most part, it's like, I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. There are stuff I bought painted that I'm more connected to because I like better than things that I painted. If I painted it and I don't like it, what the fuck is my connection? Like, I want to be disassociated with it. I want it out.
I grade myself on a pretty steep curve, so I like all that good stuff.
Oh, I'm the opposite. I'm a very steep curve of hating everything. There's a guy right now in Canada on eBay selling some of my old Noise Marine models from 20 years ago. I recognize them because the certain, like what I painted on them, he still has them. It's just called like MISC now. MISC 40K, but I fucking found them. They're out there. And no bids, motherfucker. They yours forever. Anyway, I want to play a game. Let's go around the horn here. Name a game system, and I'll tell you what I've unloaded from that game system. Because I can't think of everything now, but if you trigger it with a game system, I'll tell you.
Age of Sigmar.
All right, Age of Sigmar.
I know one of them.
Yeah, Age of Sigmar. I had a Khorne. At the time, they were Bloodblade. Wait, what were they called?
Were they Bloodborne? They were one of the first factions.
Were they humans or were they the demons?
They were humans, but they were all the shirtless guys.
Yeah.
There's a separate army that's like the armored guys now, I think. But so that was my first one, which I got from Biran or Mike. I forgot who to get.
Did
me
we
in
split a box or something? Because that was one.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I split. I think you gave me some just to get started.
We bought a shit ton of the boxes of Age of Sigmar.
Yes, we both did because we got them for a song. I remember.
Yeah,
we got them for like $40 each from that store.
Yeah, so one of you guys gave me the corn guys to get me started. Then I bought all the characters and other stuff, added in Greater Demon and all that. Sold them. I forgot to who. I don't always remember. I don't think you got those, Mike.
No.
I don't think so. So Age of Sigmar, that was out. Keeping in the Age of Sigmar theme, much later on, relatively recently actually, I kind of got back into it when we were in Colorado because Heather wanted to play it. She's like, I didn't want to play 40K. I'm like, all right, fine. So I bought an Undead Army, a Night Haunt, and I bought a painted Aura Army. And maybe played 3 games. Yeah, I think 3 games. It was okay, but what I was running into was I just don't like Age of Sigmar. It's too close to 40K. And if it was a different game completely, I probably would play it more. But I was just like, it's too close, so I'm picking that one. So
Remember how excited we got when we saw Warcry was going to use D10s, and it turned out they were just for name generation?
That was Kill Team, but yeah.
It was a Kill Team that had, yeah.
Didn't you sell corn stuff to Dan Day? Was that your demons?
The demons. Dan played demons of corn.
Or did he sell them?
Dan had a demon army. He did buy my blood. He did buy them. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, Dan did buy those. And we didn't speak of that when we met up again later on. We didn't even talk about that. He got other stuff from me at a different time. But yeah, so I had a corn army way back when. And then later on, I got an orc army, an undead army, and a small Slanesh army, which ended up in Mike's Chaos Cup auction last year.
Yeah.
I kept one model, and that is the Demon Prince, which I thought was a cool model. The guy, he did some kind of minor conversion. Unless he looks like it, but it looks really cool. So I kept that one model. It's just a cool fantasy bad guy. So yeah, 4 Age of Sigmar armies gone, and I guess we can say 4.5. When we played Age of Sigmar Skirmish, I built up Stormcast. By say that, I mean I think I had like 20 models because we played big games of Age of Sigmar Skirmish. Remember that?
That game was trash.
Yeah,
it was, but we did it anyway.
Yep.
All right, next game.
SRG.
Good one. On my shelf right now, I have 8 decks built, done. They're fucking done.
False. SRG is not a game.
Super Show.
Thank you.
By Steve Rest Gaming.
Yeah.
It was Steve Ronaldo Gonzalez Gaming, I believe. I have 8 decks on my shelf right now. I think it's they're all, except for my created characters, they're all like so like Kenny Omega, like real wrestlers. I got away from all the homemade ones. What I did sell for that was.
Did you bid on? Did you make sure you got your Scott Prime wrestler that's named Scott Prime?
It's gone. I had it at one time. I paid money for it because at a time I said I want to own all the wrestlers that are my friends, and then I was like, oh, they're not my friends.
Acquaintances, all the wrestling.
Like Cactus Sack, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
No, I got rid of 2 different times. I unloaded just mass card. When you're into a card game, you have your like stuff you like that you play with, and you have just the cards like that you never go through again. And I did one huge one years ago, and it was just like 50 punch cards, 60 like just all the cards you get from all that. After I built a bunch of decks, unloaded all those and a bunch of characters. And then my final purge was in Colorado when it was like, I'm just done building decks. The game is still fun. I'm going to keep some of this stuff here, but they're just as is. One could say, don't you want to build up more and add more in? No, it's fine as is. They're good. They're good. So my second purge was all the other characters that I was keeping and all the cards I was keeping. Because what I was doing for Super Show was, they have those cards that have the stat at the bottom. You have to have this stat. Those are better than the regular cards in the game. So I had all of those. I don't want to unload those because what if I want to insert some of those? Like I said, eventually it's got to the point where I say, I got 8 decks. That's enough. Unload it all. So
Super Show, I feel, is a game that I haven't moved past, but it moved past me.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I have no idea what's going on.
about 4 days ago, I received a package in the mail from SRG, and it was a Kickstarter I backed. I forgot that I backed every single one just because, he overpaid on Death Paths, and I'm like indebted in my head. So I backed every one, and it was a new starter set with like fucking dick ass Thunder Lips or something, and like donation, I believe, a redo, and another pack of a deck. So 3 decks, which would be given to somebody if they ever want to play Super Show. All right, next game.
Necromunda.
Necromunda.
Or Nick Ramondo.
Or Necromunda. I had in 1997, I owned a what were the religious guys called? Not the House Cawdor, but the Redemptionists.
Redemptionists.
Yeah, Redemptionists. Had them as my first gang. Mistake, because at the time, in fact, Bobby Cranston, who we all know, I should have blamed him. Should have said no Outlanders, just go with the houses, because it didn't make sense. They were too good. So I had them. Realized didn't really work right. Then I went to the Spires, which were the guys that went down to the Underhive to just like hunt for fun. They didn't actually need to
the
do
rich
it.
kids, yeah.
Yeah, they were the person at your job that works there for fun. It doesn't need the money. They can do whatever they want, And though they were also fucked up too. So then I bought John Tinio. I think, Mike, you know him, I believe. You know him? Anyway.
I bet he knows Mike.
I bet he does. I bought his Van Sar army. This was probably like early 2000s. And he painted them. They were pretty good at the time.
The current Van Sar look awesome, I think.
Yeah, the current ones are really good. Later on in the mid 2000s, got back into it. Mike, I don't know if you were part of this group, but it was like Steve Marks and a few others from War Realm days. And we got back into it. And I bought the new Orlocks. They were more biker looking. Still metal models. I also bought all the Enforcers too. Had those. Played a few games, didn't really last. Side note, at the same time, I built a gigantic Adeptus Arbites Enforcers 40K army to use Imperial Guard rules. And that went on eBay for like, I think like $600, maybe more, because they were rare models and all that kind of stuff. I actually had ambition, and I was very ambitious with 3 Chimera tanks to use as paddy wagons of sorts, where I was going to put an LED through the top of it that I bought. And I already had battery packs. Yeah, I was going to like solder those in there, a little switch on the back. I had plans to go fucking nuts with that, and it didn't go anywhere. I call that a Necromunda one too. So then
Necromunda, where the worst part about Necromunda is playing Necromunda.
Yeah, man. These books. I don't know what that was. These books.
You should get them
smell
slabbed.
good. They smell good. They look good. They feel good.
Do they have the ribbon bookmark?
Yep.
Yeah, they're great. Oh, is this fun little Necromunda bits and bobs, as they say in the UK. I thought this was really cool. These were mission cards. So I would shuffle them up and just play a random, instead of picking like, I don't have that book. I have this book. You just fucking pick a card, any card.
But then did you get the one like, we're not doing that one?
They're all I'm not doing that one. So the answer is
we're playing kill. Fuck it.
They're all, we're not doing that one. Set up 3 guys 8 inches
in a weird isosceles triangle of the board.
Yeah. All of those cards fit into the open war category of fuck
that
it.
Get got
so once you say fuck, if you say fuck it to everything and throw all the cards away, you got to reshuffle.
No, you do throw all the cards away and go, we're playing kill.
The discard pile becomes your new deck. You use that. Like, oh, these are much better. Okay. So fast forward to Necromunda when it was re-released, and I had Goliath, Escher, Orlok, and then I just played Orlok in a campaign in Colorado. We did. I was painting them myself, also unhappy with them, and I will say this: my Goliath gang, heavily converted, hair, other heads, different weapons. Painted myself, and I'm actually happy with them. I think they look pretty good for me. So I have them, and I have a Escher gang.
Are they also WYSIWYG?
Everything's WYSIWYG, yeah, except for grenades. That's in the pouch, but everything else WYSIWYG. Yeah. So Goliath, I painted them. I like them. Escher bought it from a dude. Side note, dude on Etsy. He's in, I think it was Denmark. And it was quite the adventure trying to get these to arrive at my house. In the middle of COVID, lost 10 times. It was a whole thing. I think I spoke to the Postmaster General on the phone about it. It got that high up.
Hey, where's my Escher?
He's like, what can I help you with, sir? I'm like, the Escher gang.
It's been on my desk. I've been working it.
Yeah. He's like, do they still have Toxin? I said, in the last update, sir, I believe they got rid of Toxin. So now you roll one.
Because Toxin was fucking OP.
Because it was like, oh, I hit you. Oh, it doesn't matter if I hit you. If I hit you, I don't hit you. Roll damage dice. You're dead.
You're dead.
Like, what the fuck?
And Tony taught us that. That's another. Oh, I get it. Tony made it, so it makes.
I have a 5-man enforcer gang too, painted nicely too. So that's what I sold for Necromunda. Oh, side note, I've also sold all my. I had Forge World. What are they? Stars, like mercenaries, I guess. And those go for a pretty penny, along with Necromunda cards. So you buy the cards when Necromunda things are released. Keep them sealed.
Keep
them
safe.
And
Forge World usually is one of the easiest things to sell is Forge World.
We buy the cards for $15, $20. I didn't keep it sealed to resell it. I kept it sealed in case I resell it.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those went for like $80, $90. Crazy.
I won my only painting award with my Orlok gang.
Oh, that's right. Congrats.
And through manipulation of my friends.
Yeah.
Let's just say Mantic for another one. There's a full game system, Mantic.
Mm-hmm.
Everything except everything except the boxes that Dungeon Saga came in.
Mm-hmm.
Are they down there? Can you see them? Maybe not. And Dungeon Saga cards, because those are useful even in my own version of their game. I think I have a Dreadball mat that Jeff Burbage designed. I don't have a team, but I have a mat because it was my mouse pad for the table.
I use Dead Zone. Dead Zone mats are also popular mouse pads.
Yeah.
What team did you usually play? I can't remember when we did play.
Dead Zone?
Yeah.
Plague was my number one. I painted them. Actually, they're not bad. They
were
the
convicts.
Yeah.
You like convicts.
Thanks. Yeah. What's that, Biran?
You like the convicts too, right? The explosive collar guys.
That's Dreadball, yeah.
Dreadball, yeah. So for Dead Zone, Plague was my number one. I also had Enforcers I never painted though, because I like the Peacekeepers. I didn't like the regular Enforcers, but I like the Peacekeepers.
The big boys, yeah.
The big boys, they looked cool. The regular Enforcers always seem, and like the Pathfinders too, they all look like they have a load in their pants. They all seem like their torsos, just one, because the Plague had this problem too. The initial Plague, they were all torso, but that was fine because they're Plague. They're supposed to look weird. But then the same like style of
like the proportions were off.
We're like, oh, we're going heavy torso on everybody? Okay. I'm trying to think if I have any other Mantic in my home at this point.
Any Loka?
I have two werewolves for my undead army that I broke off the multi-base and put them on individual smalls that I use for any kind of fantasy type bad guys. 2 werewolves that I painted. No Loka, no. I have Dead Zone Terrain.
Yep.
That became
your painted stuff still.
The Terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that because
that was the stuff that infamously fell into the hot zone of when you'll actually put together and paint shit. When you're that excited for a game.
I don't mind painting Terrain. That's easy because it's either dry brush or washes. You know what I mean? I don't mind painting. In fact, up there I've got some Orc Terrain. I just sprayed with lead belcher. So Dead Zone Terrain, Dungeon Saga boxes and cards, Dreadball mat, which isn't even from them. It's pretty sad. Oh,
no Tarsag?
No, wait, no. There's one. Where the fuck is my Strider that someone dropped before Mech Zone? I went to the bathroom and I came back and the fucking arm was off. And I go over, who the fuck did this? I get a hear no evil guy. I get a speak no evil guy. It was like, get the fuck out of here. All used.
Chopper Pat still has my
I
Strider.
think Pat's ass hit it. Is what I think happened. Just own up, because now I had no arm for the whole event. So
I should get my dwarf Strider back because I actually like that.
Yeah. Other games, I mean, 40K, I mean, countless over the years. I can.
Most of those were trunk trades, I assume.
I mean, there's so many. It's unbelievable. It's almost uncountable. From my first army was Chaos, and it turned into an Emperor's Children army, which some of those guy in Canada still putting them out there. This is my orc army. I just bought painted is my third orc army. The first two, Mike, do you have the first two or just the second one?
I have just the second one.
Okay.
Which one of the vehicles you're going to see?
Is there a Gorkanaut in there?
Yeah.
And then the vehicles that I made bigger.
Well, you got the vehicle from there's some that, but I'm painting.
Oh, there is a scrapjet in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
And scrapjet, custom booster blaster, and shock jump dragster.
The two from Speed Freaks.
Yeah. But I think there's also a scrapjet as well, though.
Yeah.
Three of those. But I will say this: the one thing I do miss, I don't want to say regret, but we'll say one thing I miss in the orc army I sold to Mike. I made my own house rule that said, due to the open top nature of orc vehicles, they have to all fit in there to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a thing in 40K because Space Marines can't fit in a Rhino. People might put one on top or whatever, but I extended the cab, so to speak, for all of them and put them all in. Sometimes they're thrown on top.
Yep,
that's fine too.
Yep, I've seen
and
that.
The other house rule is if they fall off, they're die.
Yeah.
That was a Gorka Morka.
That's a Gorka Morka.
I still remember fondly our time in 7th edition where we had the arms race going. That was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
Oh, you're buying that? Well, I'm going to buy this.
At this point, Biran, I think with some of the rules now that have been orcs got improved in 40K and having enough boys, I do think my army now is actually it could put up a good fight against anybody, even Gene Stealers, because
that 7th ed that was a broken ass rule for sure. Where
it was fucked up, but I'm at the point now. I just got the new codex because with the army, I was like, I'm going to buy the new one, and I'm probably saying it wrong. But I think it's 2 base attacks. One if you're knob with wall banners nearby. Another one if your war boss is nearby. And another one if you cast the Warpath, no pun intended, psychic power. 30 models, 5 attacks each, 150 fucking dice coming at you. Xtreme.
That's why I go, don't bother rolling. I'll just take my guys off.
I know you, because you know what I do? I take the shirt, just fucking dump it.
You don't have to pull your guys off because he's going to roll 5 times and one guy's going to die.
It's not like when you play Ryan and he's rolling 30 dice to hit you and 60 dice to wound you.
Yeah, I probably won't kill a whole lot, but I'm going to roll a lot of dice. If you want,
I remember the reason it was broken is because of the rending skill that Gene Stealers had, where it's no matter what, it's going to do a point of damage if you get a 6.
I think the other part of that, and I could be remembering it wrong, but I think the other part of that was you came in on my side, and so because of that, you were able to get more attacks in than I was.
Yeah, and it was I started first, and I did it before you could even.
Well, so you're going to go first, and then I get my wraps of sorts. But then by the time I pile in to have a fair fight, you've outnumbered me by double, so it's no longer fair. You know what I mean? You come in with 100 dice, and I'm fighting back with 20, and by the next round, we have the same amount of guys.
It was such bullshit because if I remember correct, I had the warlord trait where I could do that, where I could appear anywhere with my ambush, and I was able to cast a psychic spell that killed your bikers on the way in.
Yeah, I remember that one too.
The one glory moment when we played once, I remember that's where I learned that Overwatch is a pain in the ass when you have an orc truck with 150 boys in it. Yeah, they need 6s, but guess what? They need that anyway.
Right. It doesn't matter. I do remember one other shiny moment, which I thought was just fun, and I don't think it actually amounted to anything except a funny thing. Inside the Gorkanaut, I made the doors so they open.
Yep.
And I put my war boss inside of there, so he does like a fucking "here's Johnny" moment on you.
And he goes, "Oh shit, Gene Stealer!"
Right then it was like, "Oh, close the fucking door! Hold the door! Hold the door! Hold the door!"
Then we
And
both
he's
started
like,
buying flyers and started doing flyer
Close that
bullshit.
shit. Yeah, we had flyers, we had all the big stuff. So over the years, I mean, I've had, I don't know, Black Templar Space Marines. I had my own chapter called the Flame Falcons, which was a White Dwarf rule where they spontaneously combust in games. I thought that was cool. I bought Legion of the Damn shoulder pads for all of them, but then just got rid of them. Full Space Wolf army gone. I mean, so it's,
I still have my 30K World Eaters.
Nice. Yeah. I had word bearers at the time. Those are gone. I had Raven Guard twice though. Yeah. I have Fallen Angels. I had was the Cypher, led that army. So countless 40K. For Blood Bowl, I mean the newer stuff I bought, like there was like the Human Team and some other ones that were just ones that I've tended to lean more towards like the teams I have fully painted. None by me except for the ogres, my Ogrander Rage. Every single team I have now, except for my Wood Elf team, which I just recently bought fully painted to be the new Shamrock Shakes. Every team I have now is not the official GW ones.
Oh,
and
nice.
I feel like I like them better, even though I like the Games Workshop teams that are the new plastic teams. I just like when I have different ones. Like I like the Grebo stuff is my favorite. That's my current Grebo resin. They call it Gree Blood is my favorite ones because they're my favorite sculpts and they're not metal. And so for them, I have my dwarves. So the Black Label Berserkers, my Chaos Dwarves, which are on the way right now from Italy.
Do you mean Chorfs?
The Chorfs, the Maidenhead Roadies. I'm waiting for Grebo to redo their Dark Elf line in Gree Blood. That's the final, I don't know the final, but one of the final ones that's still metal the whole time. Once that's done, I'll probably get one done there. Yeah, but I mean, all the other little games too over the years, Wild West Exodus, I had Outlaws, got rid of them. I had the Lawmen, got rid of them. Recently, I did buy a painted, about 2 years ago, I bought a painted Regulators posse. Looked really cool. And I said, if I ever play, I got one painted, looks good. And then eventually I'm like, I'm never going to play this. Eric from Eric Huffman from the, what's his podcast called? The Indie Invasion podcast he does. Much like Xtreme, I had a bunch of terrain. I had a whole Wild West town and he bought all of it. So thank you, Eric, for taking them. They look really cool. All the MDF stuff, although fully built. Did I get that from you, Xtreme? Or no? Was that from you?
I'm not sure.
I don't think it was. I think it was from someone else, but I bought a whole, like, they had the fucking saloon. It was all the double deckers. It looked great if you played those games. I never actually.
Did you get any of the Don't Look Back terrain or just the box?
I completely avoided that entire game.
No,
you guys are so.
If you bought any.
Oh,
I did. I don't remember what I bought, but I know I got several of the terrain pieces, and there were a few more that I wanted that weren't in stock at the time, so it saved me some money.
It's nice that
they're in stock now.
Yeah.
It's nice that it's pre-colored. They say, I don't think they say pre-painted, but it's pre-colored MDF.
I bought a fully painted Mantic Armada Force Orcs, and Mike's like, "Oh, you got to take the 2 boats, put them as one." I'm like, "Yeah, I got to do." Then I got to figure out another base. And I'm like, "What the fuck am I doing? I'm never gonna play this dumbass boat game. Who gives a fucking shit? Put it back up. Put it back up."
Actually, that won the Chaos Cup auction, I think.
Oh, did it? Okay,
Yeah.
maybe. Okay. That shit was already shipping. That was resin, but Mantic resin, and it was already fucking shipping. I'm like, I know the guy that painted this. I've bought other stuff from him. He does a good job. He cleans, he primes, he does good work. Why the fuck are these sales chipping already? Anyway, he did other stuff.
Did I give you my
everything.
Mantic boats, Mike? And if not, why
No.
didn't I have to give them to you.
All right. so they can sit in my house.
Well, it's either that or I'll throw them out. So one of the two.
Yeah, I'll take them.
Maybe I did
I
throw
think-
them out. I'll have to look.
Like when I
Hey, you
get
would have
rid
thrown
of-
them out.
When I get rid of something, I mean, sometimes it's the, oh, cool, I could buy more stuff, but usually I buy more stuff first.
And
And
then,
then
but
I
that new
take
stuff are like, I need a place to put this new stuff.
Yeah, like I run out of glass shelves or storage.
Or collax
So it's
cubes.
just- Yeah, so I don't know. I think a lot of it is just, am I ever going to use it? The thought would be, what's the harm in keeping it? I don't need the money and I have storage. I just don't want it. I want it out of my fucking sight. Maybe
Right.
there's bad memories, maybe there's whatever. I just don't want it fucking around me. Because then we all know this, when you get into a game, there is a window of excitement to buy and build and battle, all that stuff that I coined, that Todd took, and I'm not asking for anything else.
I think I agree with you, but I think Mike is more likely to actually paint everything he gets than any of us
He
here.
will. But my point with saying that, Biran, is someone says, oh, I got to rebuy. I want to. It's not a problem. I'm looking forward to rebuying because maybe you want a different approach something. I played a horde army before. Now I want an elite army. I was a shitty painter before. Now I think I'm better. I mean, I don't give a fuck about rebuying stuff because I'm never going to buy the same exact thing. I'm going to
No.
get something different anyway.
Aside from Mike, who you said you regretted selling something recently or once, was any of, have you ever regretted after selling something that you wanted back?
The only thing for me is, yes, but it passed every time. It is passed. So I said about, oh, it'd be cool to have the orc trucks with no, I don't want it back. So I didn't want to paint them. Mike, years
Yeah,
ago,
so if they
I
were
think
painted, you'd probably regret it.
the closest thing to regret would have been maybe the Beastmen I sold you, Mike, because the Beastmen I did paint a decent amount of, maybe like 4 trays, maybe of 20, and I magnetized them with the good magnets. You know what I'm talking about? The good
Rare
ones. The rare earth, but thick enough to you fucking frisbee that base upside down if you wanted to.
Mhm.
And that, but it also wasn't a full army. So like, how do I regret it when I didn't, you know what I mean? It was like,
Maybe if you
So-
finished it completely, you'd regret it.
if I finished it complete. So I sold Tyler in Colorado, my undead King's War Army, award winning, by the way, 3rd place, award winning. But I'm like, I'm not playing this game anymore. So what, why?
And also, if they were individually based zombies and shit, you could find a use for that. But on
Yeah,
a multi-base, you're not going to find use for that.
Exactly. You kind of, yeah, I pulled off 2 werewolves from the multi-base and, but otherwise they're stuck. They are what they are. So I think to answer your question, have I ever regretted selling anything? Yes, but it's been temporary every time and it's gone away every time. And I don't, like, it's gone. The regret is gone. The regret is
Right.
gone.
Where Brian, you said you probably don't have this because you, like you said, you've psychologically ignored the stuff. You've divorced yourself from it even before you sell it. So have you ever had I wish I didn't sell that?
None that I can think of. I mean, I'm pretty good. Once I'm done with something, it doesn't exist anymore. So,
So,
and I don't.
You don't mind list.
I can't think of any game either where I was completely done with it and then I bought back in. I think, yeah, I don't think I've ever done that before. I think once I'm done with the game, I'm done.
When you got rid of your 40K orcs, didn't you give it another go, as the orcs say? Or were they the originals?
No,
Well, you had that
No.
kill team got
I
lit.
thought you did a mega knob army and then did regular orcs later.
no, I had regular orcs first and then I did the Meganob army and then I realized what the fuck am I doing and sold it all to Mike. Except for my bikes. I kept my bikes. and
Yeah,
then-
Yeah, because you
Good
used
luck.
those when we played that one time on the tempera coated tables.
Yeah.
Which is still one of my favorite memories because of the weirdo guy next to us yelling.
But side note, which what will be a great memory and will use orc vehicles, is the Chaos Race coming up at Chaos Cup, by the way, September 23rd.
Link in the
Look for that
description
event.
below.
Like down there, all that kind of stuff. Probably not. We'll do the race, the big race, the chaos race on Friday night, and then do a little for funsies demolition derby for anybody else who is already just fucking done with Blood Bowl and wants to do something else.
Everything after game 3, I think, is where I'll be in that phase.
Yeah.
In my mind, the tournament ends at game 3.
So, Mike, anything of the stuff that you've received that you regret receiving?
All of it.
What was I thinking?
How many, let me ask you this, Mike. How many rooms in your house have gaming items? Right now.
Katie's bathroom does not. My bathroom does not.
You got a trophy in your bathroom.
You don't have a white dwarf in your bathroom?
Okay, I have a white dwarf from I have several. So
You also have your best
all
painted.
of them.
You have your best painted trophy.
Yeah, that's in the bathroom. Yeah, so yeah, you're right.
What about the
So
room
it's
you're
all
in
of
right?
them.
Wait, the room you're, was that an orc vehicle behind you?
Are you
No,
talking to me?
Yeah,
that's a stationary bike.
Mike, is that a Snazglob jump
No,
wagon?
but here,
What is
look
that?
at this. That's all gaming
Oh.
stuff.
Yeah, but it's well organized, so it's like it's not there.
Very organized, Mike.
That's all gaming stuff. So,
All right.
and this is just a room. This
Is
isn't
this
even,
computer on top of an orc vehicle right now? Is
no,
your
but I
laptop-
do have. But again, I do have these just sitting there. They've been there for 2 years, three years. Yeah. So
I have a lot of loaded guns just strewn about everywhere in my room.
I had Mike. Are those Wild West models? Is that what those are?
no, they're resin, so that would make them scorpion.
I thought Black Scorpion, but that's what I meant. So
Yeah, Black
I had
Scorpion.
I had
You
a
have
bunch of
a
undead.
bag of Build-A-Figure parts.
Nice bath.
Yep.
Nice
I
bath.
should throw these
I
out
had-
because I'm never gonna because they're for Build-A-Figures I don't care about, and I'm
I
never
even
gonna.
Build the
had
figures.
like there are pieces that come in other like when
Yeah,
you buy
you,
an
like
action
they'll release a
figure,
wave of 6 figures and they'll have an arm,
Gotcha.
a leg, and then
there's
Gotcha.
the only
currently
one I really like is the one I think that Brian also has, the Build-A-Figure Joe Fix-It.
my only one I liked is he's in the back there, Biran.
Oh, King Shark. Yeah, that's the one I like. I also have an Abomination that's pretty good too.
Currently, Mike, there's a Vince McMahon Build-A-Figure out there, the last line.
He's this size as well.
Mm-hmm.
Vince?
Vince is, yeah. You know what? He's normal size, but his dick and balls are like 6
Yeah.
He ordered that from Mattel. So, no, Mike, on those Black Scorpion model, I had like a bunch of undead Wild West to make the Dark Confederacy
Yeah.
posse, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna paint these because I'm gonna do the whole ghost thing where it's white and then the green
Yeah.
color. I'm gonna do that. Everyone, that's easy. Never did it. In fact, ripped them off the base already because I like that the texture on those bases I want to use for something else. So I pulled them all off the base. Some of them, their foot fucking came off on the base. And I'm like, well, fuck that model. I only wanted the base anyway.
I have a stack of silver now on my desk.
No coins?
Yeah.
Nice. Are you a coin collector now?
They're called stackers. When you collect silver coins, you're called a stacker.
Hmm.
Although I also
have
have
a,
bars. Bars are
I have the Chaos Race Trophy over here.
Oh wow, that looks cool.
Yeah,
Is that just
kinda
is
fun.
that a McFarlane guy that got painted?
It is McFarlane painted with the lead belcher. I'll do some like black wash or something over it. This will also be, not only is it a trophy, it will be part of it's a statue in the game as well. It's
Mm.
part of the terrain. Plop that right on there. So
That's cool.
a
I would argue
sticker-
that's better than the Chaos Cup trophy.
Well, you can kill someone with that.
Yeah.
you can actually, yeah, I mean,
Most likely
Well,
yourself.
this one you can fit in your pocket. You might jab your nuts. though.
But that's
You
rounded.
But they'd have to
You
be
might-
the Junko pocket jeans, right?
Yeah, the Janko jeans. Tom Roach has those, I believe.
I sold some jeans on eBay once. This
Gently
is
used.
probably 10, 15 years ago. They were the leg bottom was 32 inches. So
That's right.
when-
You did wear that shit, didn't you, back in the day?
I did. So when I wore them, it looked like I was wearing a dress because the two giant legs would come together.
And did
But
you have
whatever, I sold
the
them.
horrible hair of the parted down the middle?
I did.
I never
Yeah.
had regretted haircuts. I grew up in the age where it didn't really happen.
But I sold these jeans on eBay. I don't know why I even thought to put them on eBay because they were weird, I guess. But I got like $100 for them.
Yeah, that's great. The thing is, I'll leave you with a Gary Vaynerchuk. Who the fuck wants this garbage? People that collect that garbage, they all want it. You go to garage sale, and you say, you got any mugs? And like, I'll give you $2 for the whole fucking box of 50 mugs. And then you go, you put them on eBay, and one of them sells for 60. The other ones maybe never sell. You're good, man. And you say, who the fuck's spending $60 on a mug? People that fuck with mugs. Just saying. Mug life, if you will. Anyway, list below all the things that you sold in your past, and we'll comment.
Yeah, and say whether you read it or not.
Yeah. Otherwise, follow Zlurpcast. We're ending this one out all over social media. And check out Xtreme's show, Real American Bryan, G.I. Joe comic themes YouTube channel. Biran, linking that down below.
Yes, I will do that. But warning, explicit content for his.
Explicit content. Yeah, he opens up a something he got graded, and he's like, fuck, for like 3 minutes. Fuck. But he marked not for kids, so it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to plan on recording like 4 or 5 more shows this weekend. So
I think it's great. You know, you're doing live reactions. We get to see disappointment in your eyes. We get to watch your heart break.
None of this kayfabe bullshit.
Yeah. We watch you open it, and you're like, oh.
And those slabs, garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, and I knew they were bad when I sent those in, but then like shortly after I sent them in, they announced the new ones, and then they showed the new ones and said you can have your stuff held, and whatever.
Lies.
That was supposed to happen, and it didn't.
All lies, but it makes for entertaining television. So check out Real American Bryan.
Brian with a Y.
With a Y. Next week, tune in for our fantasy football episode.
That's right. That's right.
It's normie talk.
How many slots do we still have open?
I have one open. I'm trying to get Taylor to join.
Taylor Talks Comics, Taylor?
Yeah. He said he's retired from fantasy football. I'm trying to bring him out of retirement.
Tell him this one's mainly as a goof.
They're all a goof.
They're all a goof. I'm trying.
Well, the prize pool is what got me in.
Yeah, something fun, something different.
And sometime in the near future, we'll be talking about the world of Black Hammer. Mine is still shrink wrapped, so I need an excuse to open it.
I got all 3 of that one, and I've read each one. I believe has 2 stories. So we have 6. We have 6 episodes right there. If you really
are they like the
down.
previous Black Hammers, where it's one of the best values at Absolute Editions you could find?
They're pretty good. Yeah, I mean,
I think they were $30.
You need to let me know what stories are in there, because I don't do that book shit.
Mike, I was hoping for a Barbalian to start with, but I think it's in the 3rd book.
And
He's the gay
4th
Martian,
one,
right?
Yeah, it's my
Yeah,
favorite.
that was a good one. I read that one. Yeah.
Oh, you read that one? Okay.
I've read. I just need to know which ones are in there.
Yeah.
So we need to do that before the middle of September, because then volume 4 comes out.
Okay. Well, there we go.
I bought my first Absolute. I don't know if I showed this on the show. Infinity Crisis. These are $100, but 60 at my ghetto shop.
Wow. Good for you. All right.
Oh, well, so as a goof, I bought this manga called Kaiju number 8. And apparently it's about they're kaijus and they're always causing trouble. And these are the teams that are responsible for cleaning up the corpse of the kaiju after it's destroyed. So it sounds interesting to me.
Nice.
But it's as a goof because it's anime.
Everything's a goof. Life is a goof. All right, I'm closing out because I'm going to go eat now.
Live, laugh, goof.
Live, laugh, goof. Live, laugh, Biran.
Zlurpcast! Brought to you by McMurdy's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loathing it.